turn off the heat, and drive below the speed limit. That's how you get more range in the winter. But what if I don't want to do those things? What else can I do? Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Victor of Cars Jubilee, and today you join me in my Genesis GV60 as we talk about how to get more range out of your EV when it's cold out. And this will apply for the Ioniq 5 and the EV6 and maybe some other EVs as well for some of these things. Now, I've been thinking through what are some best tips and tricks that I can share for winter range loss. And, there's definitely the basic stuff like turning on driver only mode if you're the only one in the car, or maybe turning on the heated seats and the heated steering wheel if you have it, or like turning down the climate system to the bare minimum and maybe keeping your jacket on and just wearing warm clothes, or like driving at the speed limit or near the speed limit, or like using HDA's adaptive cruise when you're on the highway because it uses regen, so it's actually really efficient. These are all things that I've done, and these are all things that I would recommend trying if you haven't already. And in fact, I have done the whole dress warmly and turn off the heat. And, in around freezing temperatures for half an hour, it was okay, but I don't think I'd want to do that for 3 or 4 hours. And I don't think my family or my passengers would want to do that either. So, is that it then? Does that mean we've hit our hypothetical range wall in the winter? We just can't go any farther than maybe 250 or 260 miles? For some people, road tripping means that they're going about 70, 75 miles an hour for 3 or 4 hours. Well, in those cases, you're not even going to get 250 or 260 miles of range. You might only get 220, 230. And if you don't have an EA station or a level 2 charging option on your route, what are you going to do? Or let's say there is a Electrify America DC fast charging station on your route. Well, do you have complete confidence that A, it actually works, or B, that you'll be able to charge and get in and out in about half an hour? These are legitimate concerns. If you look at the forums, if you talk to people that have driven EVs across the country and done road trips, a lot of these concerns have happened for a lot of people, including myself. And the one time we decided, hey, we're going to try out EA and stop on our route and charge, well, a 30-minute stop turned into about an hour and a half. And I ended up trying 3 or 4 different chargers at that one station, and I still couldn't pull even close to my normal charging speed numbers. And it wasn't just because it was kind of cold out. In those temperatures, I should have been seeing close to 100, but we were just seeing 50, maybe 60 kilowatts. So clearly that charging station as a whole was not all that great, not all that functional. But that was in April of 2022. Now, at this point in 2023, well, there's an extra 20,000 Ioniq 5s on the road also using EA's charging infrastructure. There's also another 20,000 EV6s and probably another 25,000 Chevy Bolts, another 25,000 Mach-E's, another 10,000 ID4s. They've all just joined us in using EA's infrastructure. Not to mention, Teslas can also now use EA. So we've seen a whole lot more EVs join us on the road, but we haven't really seen that big of an increase in charging stations. In fact, with EA, it feels like it's actually gotten worse. Right, let's try a real-world example. Let's say I'm traveling from Rochester, New York, down to State College in Pennsylvania. Well, looking at Google Maps here, the fastest option is about 3.5 hours, traveling about 230 to 240 miles. Now, in cold weather, that's really pushing up against the max range that a lot of us can get out of our EVs. So what are some charging options? Well, if I look at Electrify America, well, you'll notice there's pretty much nothing in between these 2 points. there are no Electrify America charging options. So what should I do? Well, then you should check PlugShare. PlugShare is going to let you know what other charging networks are out there. And in many cases, you'll find that there are other networks. In this case, we have one called Evolve, New York. There's also some charge points along the way. Also, you may notice in some cases, there's actually level 2 charging options available. Again, if you're only trying to get 230 to 240 miles, doing a level 2 charge for half an hour is probably enough to help you get there. You can also do the same search now through Google Maps itself. There is an EV charging station search, so that's a pretty useful feature. But let's go with this example where what if there are no charging options in between these 2 points? Meaning I checked PlugShare and there's nothing, I checked Electrify America and there's nothing, so I have to go about 230, 240 miles between these 2 points. So going back to Google Maps, you can see they already gave us 3 options, and one of them is actually 220 miles. I think going 220 miles in cold weather seems much more doable than 240. But wait, what if there's even more mileage that we can save? If you just look at this straight line, well, that's the most direct route. In that case, you're probably going under 200 miles. Now, is there a way to do that? Well, let's go into Google Maps and let's choose Avoid Highways. To do that, you'll notice all of a sudden you're looking at around 200 miles that you need to travel. Now, yes, it is going to take over an hour longer, but this makes sure that you will get there in one charge, meaning you don't have to charge along the way. Now, I'll be totally honest with you guys and say that this is not something I've actually tried on a road trip yet. We just don't road trip that frequently, and we just haven't had the opportunity to do it. But if push came to shove, this is what I would do. And in fact, I do it on a daily basis, but to a lesser degree because I do it on my morning commutes. This is me sitting on the highway and just doing a slow cruise between 25 to 35 miles per hour, but we're almost never stopped. It's just kind of a roundabout way and it takes longer, but I get crazy high efficiency numbers doing this. So for me, I purposely choose the route option that gets me the highest efficiency, even if it takes me a little longer. And if I were going to be road tripping in a situation where I need the extra range, well, I would apply the same concepts. So you have to spend a lot of time figuring out what's the most efficient way of traveling. Anyways, I would love to hear from all of you guys. What are your best tips and tricks for winter range? As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.